Hello, everyone, and welcome to At the Movies. Now, we're actually going to be discussing a movie that came out probably about a month ago, but we wanted to get, our female point of view for this movie, and we actually have a special guest that's going to be joining us today. Uh, Say hello, Miss Liz. So normally at this time we do the matriarchs of fandom. We did have to do this evening just because we had a little bit of life going on. So that's the reason we are going to take this opportunity. And I just want to show a few seconds of this. Hey,
Don't touch those buttons.
so what we're looking at is the Mandalorian and Grogu. This, like I said, came out about a month ago. May 22nd. And we want to get the female point of view of what they thought about this movie. So I will start with Miss Liz. What are your thoughts on this movie, and what do you think? Did you enjoy it when you saw it?
Oh, I loved it. It was great. I think they did a really good job on the storyline. Um, and of course, I like Grogu, and I like the Mandalorian, and there were some interesting interactions going on with their traveling and whatnot. Uh, there were some interesting critters, you know, that tried to eat him, and I do like the fact that they figured it out and everything worked out in the end and whatnot. But yeah, I thought it was a really good storyline, and
Okay.
I really liked the way that it wasn't slow and it moved and it was good. That's and I want to see it again.
Now, we have seen it twice ourselves. Honey, what's your opinion of the movie?
I thought the first time I saw it, I think I enjoyed it just a little bit better than the second time. Um, I kind of saw a couple of flaws when I rewatched it. Mark and I saw it. Um, Overall, it was a cute movie. I think we'll talk a little bit about some of the flaws that I saw, but definitely family movie, definitely take your young ones, adults, you know. So overall, I thought it was pretty good.
I have to say I enjoyed it as well. If you guys had the opportunity to watch the Cosmic Portal, they did their review the week after it came out, and I agree with what they said. I do have to say that this was a change in what they have been putting out for Star Wars over few, the past few shows that have come out. Uh, for me, the greatest show that they had come out recently was probably uh, Darth Maul. Enjoyed that show. I love this show when it premiered. I know there's been some changes that were not supposed to happen in this show, but I think it was pretty good overall for the movie. And it's been, like I said, it's been about 3 weeks since 3 weeks since it's so we all know that we have is probably the character that Lawrence Grogu are sent out to try to rescue. So, you know, it's quite interesting when you get to see Mando hunting down the people that he sent out to hunt. And in this case, we have Sigourney Weaver giving him all of his, I guess, the people that she's looking for. She's got a deck of cards, which I think is kind of cool because they're trying to figure out who all of these people are. How you doing, Rob? And I think it's quite interesting the way they set that up. I enjoyed the movie. The only thing I would say when I watched it, it reminded me more of an episode of the show rather than a movie. So it seemed like probably 2 episodes of a TV show over a cohesive movie throughout the whole thing. Uh, Miss Liz, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I really enjoyed seeing Sigourney Weaver. I think she did a really good job, and she sent him off on adventures to find this person, which they had no clue who it was or what they looked like or anything, and so she gave him quite a hard task to, and of course, I think she was very insistent that please bring him back alive. Unlike the last one, he got toasted the last one, and the one that she sent him off to get, and so it was definitely a little bit different than his normal bounty hunter type thing. But then he realized what was going on, and he kind of changed what she wanted. But I think it was a good idea. I think she did the right. I think he did the right thing, and I don't want to give any spoiler alerts, so that's why I'm not going to say who they went after. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. What is your thoughts on
Well, one of the things that I did notice when Mark and I saw it the second time, Miss Liz just mentioned Sigourney Weaver. She was probably the only true female in this movie. I didn't even notice that when we saw it, the day it came out. And, I'm watching the movie, and, you see her here, you see her there, but I can't think of truly any other female that had a pretty much talking role in this movie. And I know recently when a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies, they talk about the females being now front and centered, and this it wasn't at all. I'm just I'm sitting there and I'm noticing. I'll call you back. And I'm sitting there and noticing that oh my God, it's just the Gobi week. So, being the female, I don't know how many guys noticed that, but I know I did. Where I kind of feel like in other movies, yeah, the woman was kind of front and center a little bit, especially the last couple of Star Wars movies. But in this one, I think she's the only one. And for me, there was a little bit of a disappointment.
it? Yeah, I didn't notice until you said something that, you know, I'll put it the way, they did make Mando the main person in this movie and Grogu. So Sigourney Weaver's ward was the only female. There were females in the background, but they didn't have much speaking roles. So again, Sigourney Weaver was the only one that did a lot of speaking. And I guess from a female point of view, it's a drastic change from what we had seen most recently when it comes to a lot of the Star Wars stuff, especially because like some of the shows that they put out I have not enjoyed. And it wasn't that it was a female or male, it's just that the people that created them had no idea about the universe. So that was my thing with this. The one thing I do have to say, they had a lot of cameo people in this movie, which I thought was pretty cool. Like Martin Scorsese was was in the movie at what is it, the Smuggler's Place with them. I thought that was kind of funny. And just the idea that some of the what is it, the other director was there as well. As he actually flew in a X-wing at the end of the movie, so I was thoroughly impressed with that. Miss Liz, what did you think about female representation in this movie?
He didn't notice. I when I first started watching it, I says, "All right, how much are they going to put Sigourney into this movie? And she had a lot lower than I thought she was going to have. Um, so, and I really didn't think about it at the time, but uh, I'll have to see it again to really watch for that. Uh, but I did like the fact that they had cameos here and there. That was pretty cool. Uh, yeah, but mm, my premise was mainly to see, okay, how much Sigourney Weaver am I going to get? I'm sorry. I'm just a big fan, so anything she's in, I gotta watch.
That's what I was saying, Miss Liz. I did not notice it first time I saw it. I was going to the movies to see Star Wars, but that second time, I'm looking at these characters, and where's the girls? So I don't know. It's not that I think it should be equal, because I do think Star Wars is not just a guy movie, a series, or however you want to call it. More men than female, yes.
So we I like it that way, right?
This person on the Cosmic Portal already had their say. But I mean, overall, I did think it was a durable movie. But I just noticed the lack of females in this movie. Even some of the parts. One of the little four creature things that could have even been a female. You know, so where's the girls at? It definitely wasn't in this movie. But that's for me a little bit of a flaw that I noticed the second time around.
Okay. And you said, Miss Liz, that you didn't notice that when you watched it, correct?
Yeah, I didn't notice it because I wasn't really looking for it. Of course, I only went there to watch the movie and get the action and see how much Grogu and Mandalorian and Sigourney Weaver I was gonna get to see, and watch the bad guys get what they deserved, and that kind of thing. And I always like seeing the the different critters and whatnot. I really I kind of like the snake. Uh, he was very cool looking, and I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. and and I also like the little guys, the ones that fix airplanes and whatnot. I love those guys. You know, I have a soft spot for them. They're absolutely adorable.
Now, look, guys, who's watching this podcast, I'm not saying that there wasn't another female here or there. Yes, one of the HUD's twins. I guess you can say she was a female. And then the main villain.
That was the HUD. The
Okay,
HUD.
this is HUD. Okay, the same person.
Yeah.
But I
The
mean,
snake could have been a female.
yeah, does that really count? I'm saying I'm just I don't know. I just noticed it, and you know, you know, it just wasn't cool. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
Yeah, I would say I hadn't paid much attention to it until, like I said, you brought it up. Um, because originally, I'm just looking at it for the story. I enjoyed the story. Um, it was, and I have to say, it's a really good family movie. I think kids would love it. Adults that are into The Mandalorian would love it. But this time, I just wanted to give the females a point of view to see what they said about it. Since, you know, the past few podcasts, everybody's been talking, but it's been from a male point of view. So that's why I asked Miss Liz to join, see how she felt about it. I see that you're saying, and when I looked at the cast, Sigourney Weaver is the only female that is showing as one of the people that is listed as a person in the movie. Um, yeah, it is a sons and father movie, which is kind of funny because I think about when you see a lot of the when Star Wars first aired, a lot of people went, but I know I went with my cousins, and we went together in New York, and I just remember being there and thought this was such a. I didn't know what we were seeing, but when I saw the first movie, I was mesmerized and captivated by everything in it. I felt the same way when I saw Rogue One. I thought that was such a good movie. When I saw this, my disappointment was I didn't get a long time ago in a galaxy far away. I don't know why they deviated from that. That is Star Wars. We need that at the beginning of Star Wars because it is a long time ago in a galaxy far away. We did get some type of scroll, but it wasn't the same. It didn't hit the same. And I saw somebody say earlier that the music was even different, which is true. It was different for an opening. Um, that would have been my only issues with the beginning. As I said, when I watched it, to me, it kind of reminded me of episodes of the show. And I know the budget was cut based on everything else that went through. So I am hoping, this was a great movie. I want them to continue to do other movies along this line. Um, so we will have to see what we get going forward. Anything else that either one of you want to say in closing?
Yes,
Okay.
this movie should is not just a father and son movie. Okay, this is Star Wars. There's just as many female, Jedi's out there as it is male. So, I enjoy a lot of these movies. I'm not going to see it because, I'm going with my husband. I'm going it because I like Star Wars. I mean, I got two Jedi outfits in there, and I'm a girl. So it should have been, a, you know, maybe a father and child movie because they did originally name him. He was the child, not the father and son. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there.
Miss Liz, do you have anything you want to say?
No, I actually thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I really hadn't thought of it as a father and son movie. I kind of thought of it as a mentor and a kid, and uh, Grogu slowly learning to be himself, and I really think of Mandalorian being more of a mentor than a father and son.
Amen.
And I mean, it was pretty. I like the fact that Grogu eventually had to save him, uh, and I just like the action adventure, and I like the critters, and the storyline and the fun, and and I kind of enjoyed the bad guys too. They were funny.
I agree.
and uh,
Overall,
and,
this was
and
a
I
good
am
movie.
happy about how things ended up, which I will not say because some people probably haven't seen the movie, and I wouldn't want to spoil it for them.
Yeah, I feel at this time everybody should have seen the movie at this point.
Yeah,
But
you're going to see it.
yeah,
Well, no, because my supervisor, she just saw it yesterday for the first time
that's
when
true.
we saw He-Man.
Okay. Called Masters of the Universe.
Okay, it's He-Man.
Okay, but to the universe. So, on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I would probably give this movie probably a 4 stars. There are a few things, like I said, it seemed more episodic than an actual movie. That would have been my only gripe. What would you say your rating is of this movie?
I will also pretty much give it a 4 stars. I mean, yeah, I'm talking about the female. I mean, normally this would be the matriarch. I would do that in there. But we did see it twice. Who knows? If we're bored, we might even go to the movies and see it again. We're on it. You know, I mean, I said who knows. But it was good. I would tell anybody that if you like Star Wars, to go and see it. It made a lot of money. Hopefully there'll be another movie with more females in it next time.
Miss Liz, what is your rating of this movie?
I would give it a 4 plus. Definitely. Not quite a 5, but a 4 plus. And and yes, I will definitely want to see it again. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm hoping we get some more adventures. Since they're not going to do the series anymore, I'd really, really would appreciate another adventure movie, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Because
absolutely. I think
because
that would work.
we can't have this drought. We gotta have we gotta keep it going, if you know what I mean. We don't want another umpteen years before we see something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do have some other movies coming down the line, so I don't know when they're coming out, but we have what is it, Ryan Gosling's movie.
That's gonna be weird.
Yeah, so there is something else planned. I know they scrapped the what's her name Ray movie, but that's the only thing. I'm glad they did that. I'm not feeling another Ray movie, but hopefully we'll see something else in the future. Anything you want to say in closing besides this is not a male centric movie?
I mean, go to the movies and see it. I love Star Wars. Star Trek is better, but I do love Star Wars. It was enjoyable. You know, um, so that's really all I'm going to say because they need to have more females in it.
Okay, so the females will be back. The matriarchs of fandom will be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I'm not sure what they're going to be discussing, but I guess they will have something planned. Um, we will probably be back because I'm going to say Monday. We saw Masters of the Universe,
Man.
which starts today. We did see an early screening of it, but we'll discuss that on Monday. Tell you our review of it. I'm just going to say I enjoy it. Others may not have enjoyed it, but I don't know who that could be. But it is a good movie for what it is designed to be. So we'll see what happens with that.
I want to see it too,
It is good.
but
So I
I'm
would suggest
unfortunately going
watching
to
it.
probably judge it against the first one. That's the only bad part about
Don't
it
do
is I
that.
might judge it because
Yeah, that's the
I
hard
went
part.
and saw the first one at the movie theaters.
Oh, you're talking about
So
the one in the 80s.
yeah, the one with yeah,
Dolph
Don't
Lundgren.
blame us.
yeah,
Okay,
the
so
Dolph
this,
Lundgren one, yeah,
this
and
is
the
a
Frank
hundred times
Lagoda
better
who
than that.
played
Yeah,
the score.
yeah, you can't
Yeah,
compare that one.
Yeah, this is a
yeah.
hundred times better than
Yeah,
that one.
it
So
is.
you're
Oh,
good.
really? Because the
Yeah.
Yeah.
only reason I went and saw that movie is because the guy that was playing the skull. Because I love that actor, so I saw anything he was in. And that was the
Okay.
only reason I went and saw it. It's because of the villain.
Okay. No, you'll enjoy this one then. All right. Till next time,
I
everybody.
do want to thank Miss Liz for being our special guest for at the movies today. So thank you, Miss Liz, for joining us.
Good night, everybody.